Yeah, howdy, I'm Paranoid Rat, and I'm back with more art for y'all, ratlings. I was going to do a different video this week, but the microphone I would need for that one gave out on me, hence the disaster audio that was my last upload. Sorry about that. So we're pivoting and just doing a drawing video. And I'm going to be redesigning the My Little Pony characters because I can and I want to. I did a video a while back where I redesigned a few of the Equestria girls. I don't love that video, and I've improved a lot and would like to take another stab at their human designs in the future, but this week I just wanted to draw ponies. I've been really burnt out and uninspired and just scraping the back of my brain for content ideas, so that's what's happening. I don't know, I just kind of needed a refresher and something different, and going back to my old days of my Little Pony childhood obsession, I think that was the right way to cope with said burnout. This was actually really fun. My Little Pony was my childhood, and I was obsessed. I had all the figures, and I watched it religiously, and I swore that when I turned 18, I was going to legally change my name to Twilight Sparkle. And I had a whole Twilight Sparkle Halloween costume, and all of my birthdays were My Little Pony themed. I was a very normal child. But the character designs are just, kind of lacking, which makes sense. I'm not going to complain. It's an animated series, so the designs need to be simple, easy to rig and animate, recognizable, and easy to make into sellable toys, which they succeeded in. But I love it when artists do their own iterations of childhood cartoons like this, and I wanted to contribute my takes on the characters to the mix, cause why not? Usually for my videos I do like 2 to 4 different designs, but since these were a bit smaller and simpler, I wanted to crank out all of them. Partially so I could say I redesigned all of them, partially because I wouldn't be able to pick my favorites, and partially because it's not a person, and that's why it's way easier and less time consuming to draw, and then also because, I think I've talked about this in the past, when I design a cast of characters, I don't just design one character at a time, as it's its separate entity. I instead try to make it all into one cohesive mega design, and that's something I love doing. So doing doing casts of characters like this is really fun to me. So firstly, for Twilight, I immediately knew I wanted to give her a different tail type. I don't know why, but it felt fitting for her. One of my favorite childhood movies at the time was The Last Unicorn, and in it, the unicorns had the different style of tail. So partly to pay tribute to that, and partly because knowing Twilight, I feel like she would prefer and benefit from a lower maintenance tail. I gave her a more interesting haircut and gave her a messy bun, which always just felt right for her. A big thing I knew I wanted to do when going into these designs was I wanted to give them more interesting and varying heights and body types. Lots more details and more interesting cutie marks. So Twilight got a slimmer build, and I gave her a pair of glasses, a collar, and little cuffs, which I think were adorable. I had a lot of fun playing with the different colors and gradients, and I really liked the gradient of the light purple at the bottoms of her legs. And then as it fades up, I drew little sparkles there, which I just thought that was cute, and it's a nice little detail, and it looks good. Next, I did Applejack, our favorite yeehaw lesbian. I had The Giver by Chappell Roan stuck in my head the entire time I was drawing this, and I don't know, that felt fitting. I knew for sure I wanted her to have a much more muscular and sturdier build. It was an easier way to make her design more interesting and more separate from the rest. I also thought braids would be a good addition as well. It's so sad to me. I feel like a lot of the one-off characters in this show had the best and most adorable designs. So I kind of took a lot of inspiration from the background characters that actually looked super cool, that weren't generic, easy to make into doll designs. For her cutie mark, again, I wanted it to be more interesting, so I changed them from whole apples to apples that were cut in half. It's a little bit more detailed, and I felt like it contrasted better this way. Then I surrounded it with these branches and leaves markings, and I think it looks really cool. These designs are a lot more muted in color than the original to match my style better. And I think that was the most obvious on my Applejack design, or maybe Rainbow Dash, but I know I'm very happy with Applejack, and I think she looks a lot better with these a bit more toned down colors, and I love her. And speaking of Rainbow Dash, I think I probably changed Rainbow Dash's design the most. I made her a much darker and more muted blue, shortened her mane and tail, added rainbow feathers, etc., etc. I felt like it all turned out really well in the end, and it suits her a lot better. I think her cutie mark turned out the best out of all of these designs. Like, they were all fine, but I felt like hers looks the best. It contrasts well and forms the shape of her legs smoothly, and I just love it. It's perfect, and it looks cool, and I love like the clouds with the rainbow lightning bolt on her thigh. It's wonderful. She also got some like eye black and goggles, bandages, and piercings, which again, very fitting to her. I had a lot of fun adding all of these little details to these characters. I know them and their personalities super well, so getting to draw them and like add aspects of their personality into their designs was really fun to me because I love doing that, and these characters are very dear to me. And now for Pinkie Pie, I immediately knew she would wear like super colorful and random like candy bracelets and hair clips. Just no questions asked. This really made me want to redo her human design to really be able to let that idea shine, because I have such a clear image of what she would look like in my head. The Canon Equestria girls got it wrong and did her dirty, and she deserves so much better. But I feel like she would definitely be the person who like had like rainbow candy bracelets like all the way up her forearms. I mean, just look at her. I wish I'd given her more bracelets and accessories in this pony design in hindsight, because it's like it's not maximalist kidcore cluttercore enough yet, and that annoys me. I did have trouble with her hair and drawing her hair texture, but I ended up putting it in these two little buns, and I think it's really cute. I also gave her like these like paler pink spots, and they turned out super nice looking and fitting for her. And then I also tried to give her like a chunkier and smaller build than the others. Making this video really made me realize how much I love drawing chunky horse hooves like this. This is 10 out of 10, no notes. Okay, now Rarity. Rarity gave me so much trouble. Up until now, I never successfully made fan art of her because her hair always tripped me up so bad I eventually just gave up. But I returned with a new vision, new skills, and a new motivation. I still suffered, but we succeeded, and that's what matters. I was scared of her starting to look too similar to Twilight visually, so I spent a lot of time trying to make her stand out as separate as best as I could. I made her a bit more blue in hue, which I think was a good call. I then made her like fur and hair just a bit more lustrous and flowy and unicorny and magic-y. And she was still looking a little too plain, so she got a little sweater. Yeah, you know, fashion is her thing, so if one of them was to get an actual full piece of clothing, it would be her. I was trying to give them all accessories in some shape or form, so it doesn't like her having this sweater doesn't stick out like a sore thumb or anything, but it still makes her different. I had a lot of issues trying to get the right color for it though, but we got there. Fear not, it's okay. It looks good. I love it. And lastly, Fluttershy. You know how I just said I was trying to give them all an accessory? Well, I forgot about that one for her. I like added flowers and vines to her hair and gave her like a little horn, but I guess I thought that was enough, but she doesn't look as unified as the rest, and it's bugging me, but it's okay. Other than that though, she turned out super cute, and I love her. I love like the yellow and pink combo. I drew a lot of inspiration from her design in the show when she was younger. I like the long, scrawny legs, and it suited her. It suited her well, and I wanted to bring those back. It just looks, it looks so cute with the pale yellow socks and the little cleft hooves. I love Fluttershy, she's amazing, and I think her design turned out well, even if I'm a bit bothered that it doesn't fully match the rest because I forgot to give her like a piece of like clothing or whatever, but it's fine. Well, there's that. That was super fun. Like I said, it was just really refreshing to draw something different for once. I'm so happy with how they turned out, and it was super fun being able to go back to my old interests. I've actually been thinking a lot on like my old childhood interests and obsessions lately, and I'm kind of wanting to revisit and draw them again. And I've been trying to find a way to make that work into a good video. I also wanted to give them all better Equestria girl redesigns. So I might be doing that again soon. We'll see if I get around to it. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll be back with more content next week. Ciao!